All right, everyone. I hope that you guys are having an awesome and amazing day. It is me, Natalie Cousins. And as I promised that I would be on here to do a presentation with you guys on the business of real estate. And so for those of you who don't know me, I am a real estate agent. I'm licensed in Atlanta, Georgia, and I have also been a new home sales representative since 2003 in Toronto. And so I really wanted to just come on here. I know that we are in the last quarter of the year, and some of you may be asking, where do you start? What do you do? Some have just gotten licensed. And so I just wanted to be able to give you guys a presentation for it to be I would say the label or the outprint or the blueprint for you guys to be able to get some clarity in your business. And so today we're going to be talking about the business of real estate, and it no longer has to be a struggling mess in order to become a major success. And I know that a lot of us are really trying to build our real estate business. We're really trying to grow, and we've taken these exams, we've taken the state tests, things like that, and we are still lost. And so it doesn't have to be a struggling mess no more. And so before we get started, let's just for the next 45 minutes try to eliminate any distractions that we have and have a pen and paper ready to make some notes. All right, guys, so we'll be really quick here. So who is this for? This is for any individual right now, whether you've just started in your real estate business or you've been in real estate for a while, and you are really trying to find your sub-niche. You're really trying to figure out where you are passionate in the real estate industry, and you are really figuring out where it is that you would like to go. And so at the end of the day, we really need to realize that the real estate world and the real estate game is very big. It is also very lucrative. But if you have a plan in place, if you have systems in place, from there, it just makes things a lot easier for you. And so what I'm going to promise that you'll leave with today is more clarity on where you want to be in the real estate industry. You'll be able to figure out what your strengths are and what your weaknesses are. And for those of you that are just starting, you might not know necessarily in the real estate industry what your weaknesses are just yet, but it will allow you to start looking at things and being alert. And so we're going to cover the 6 pillars of your real estate business and what it is that you need to actually have in place, okay? And from there, we're going to also take little notes on how you can more streamline yourself and stand out from your competitors in the industry. And so just so you know, it wasn't this easy for me in the real estate game. When I started off in self-employment, actually, I started off as an architect. I went from architecture to interior design. And when I fell in love with real estate was when I became a new home sales representative, where I was selling the lots from plan and then working with the buyers to be able to do their finishes, do their structural changes and things like that. So, everyone comes from a different world in real estate. We just need to figure out where we fit in and what we're going to be able to give. And so does anything sound familiar to you, or can you relate to where your past is and why you decided to go into real estate? And if that is definitely you, I want you to type in the chat if you are coming from a different world of real estate and that you're really trying to figure out where you are, where you can relate. See, a lot of us, when I'm doing consultations and I ask individuals where they're coming from in real estate, some of them will say, my parents were in real estate, or, my husband or my father was in real estate, or, their wife started off in the industry. And some of them just go into it because they've seen somebody else doing real estate and saw their lifestyle. And so if you can relate to any of this, I want you to go ahead, if you can, and type a 1 in the chat so we're all on the same page. Now, as you begin to get frustrated in the real estate industry, and I'm going to tell you why frustration starts to happen. Number one, as a new agent or as a seasoned agent, there are so many products being thrown at you for lead systems, ways to increase your buying and your selling power. You have so much different systems and products and whatever coming at you. You've just finished possibly school and you're thinking to yourself, okay, what's next? So for most of us, we go and we interview different brokers, and really and truly the brokers are all going to tell you the same thing. What your commission split is going to be, what their expectations of you. They may ask you, you know, how much money you want to make, so on and so forth. But really, the question I always ask the broker, and it's going to kind of sound a little bit condescending, but it's, why should I give you a split? And what is it that you're going to do for me that's going to really set me or raise the bar? Because really, I'm the one doing all the work. 9 times out of 10, they'll just be able to show you the different things that they're going to offer and that they're going to tell you. You join with them, but you're still frustrated. You're still stuck because you don't necessarily have a vision, a goal, or a plan in place that is going to set you to getting to where it is that you need to be. And so one of the reasons why we're not exactly where we need to be is because we don't necessarily know where we want to go or where we currently are at in our lives. And it sounds a little bit nonchalant, but the truth is, when we look at the Maslow's hierarchy of needs, and if you're familiar with that, you can go ahead and you can type that in the chat. A lot of us are stuck at the bottom 3 of this pyramid. And so we're going to break it down to basic needs, psychological needs, and self-fulfillment needs. And so most of us at one point in our life, or currently right now, we are stuck in psychological needs, which is basic needs of food, water, warmth, and rest. As long as we have those 4 things, okay, even if we can procreate, we are comfortable with ourselves. And so there's no need to necessarily press on. There's the second level of the basic needs, which is safety needs, so security and safety. We've got income coming in. How many people can relate right now? You're in a 2-income household or a 1-income household. Your spouse takes care of all the bills and stuff like that. So you don't really need to sell right now because the bills are going to get paid and everything's going to get done the way that you need it to, because someone else is paying the bills for you. So you're not really motivated right now or feeling the punch because someone's got that for you, right? So there's no need for you to pound the pavement, all right? And right, Lartasha, it's like if somebody's paying all these bills for you, why do you need to sell? You could test the waters here, you could test the waters there, and really it doesn't mean anything. Now, there are also people who have psychological needs, right? They want to belong to a certain group in their brokerage firm. They want to belong with a certain group of friendships. They're social every other night, so on and so forth. And so really, once they have the friendship or the intimate relationships, they're good. Real estate is just something that you do on the side, or it's just a title that you want to have. And really, it's psychological. All right, then we have people who are on the esteem, right? They're feeling accomplished. You know, they did the exam in one attempt, and you know, they passed. I'm going to tell you guys right now, I got licensed in the state of Florida. I wanted my real estate license so badly, and it wasn't until I was in the survival mode that I was able to pass that exam. I was too comfortable, and so I probably wrote that exam in Florida 4 times. I never got my license until the 5th time. And it wasn't that I didn't understand the business of real estate. It was my head wasn't in the game. I wasn't hungry enough. And I just was floating away through that exam, paying $75 each time. And it wasn't until my life depended on me actually getting this license did I pass. And when I say my life depended on me passing, I really mean my life depended on it, meaning I couldn't move to Atlanta, Georgia without my license in my hand. All right, so if you are in the bottom 2, or if you have friends that are in the bottom 2, you'll stay in the bottom 2. It's just a reality of it. So we have to be able to start evaluating our circle, looking at the people that we are hanging around, and figuring out what we're going to do to break this cycle, because in order to get to the very top, which is self-fulfillment, achieving one's full potential, including the creative activities, how can we go on, right? Because you need a balance of both. If you've got the friend that is okay with staying on your couch for 6 months, okay, then at the end of the day, she's bringing you down to she's keeping you in the psychological needs because you're supporting her. And I'm not saying that we shouldn't support friends, but there comes a limit and a time frame to where it is. If you are stuck in your security and safety needs where you've got a job or someone's paying your bills for you, it's time to wake up and realize that you need to make the shift in your life in order for these things to actually change. And I'm here to tell you that, if you are just looking for intimate relationships or belonging with friendships, and you're not taking the real estate game seriously, someone else will come in and eat up that market that you have been trying to do so long, but because you're busy with your psychological needs, you're missing the bucket. And so if you are not familiar with the Maslow's hierarchy of needs, you need to get familiar with it, because what ends up happening is when you're at the bottom with a deficiency need, your motivation decreases as needs are met. And that's what happens with ego. I did a Facebook Live the other day on ego. Your ego can make you, or your ego can break you. And some of us need to do a self-inventory check to see where we actually are right now. Did you know that success is not going to come to you in an envelope the way that your license did? Success is not going to come via the postman. Passion requires action. And once you put the action in place in your business, then the success comes. And so your motivation will increase as your needs are met, being growth needs, right? So we really need to look at our business and say, okay, where is it that we're going to really go? And so we need a balance of all 5 of these in order for us to specifically be successful. And so what ends up happening is some of us have one or the other, but we don't have all 4 to get to the 5th level, and we keep on falling back down. So I need for you guys to type in the chat if you understand that in order for us to get to self-actualization in our real estate business, we need a balance of esteem, love and belonging, safety needs, and psychological needs. If we don't get that right now, then you might as well come off this particular presentation, because you need a balance of it all. Now, you need a proven path to follow in real estate. A lot of people are hung up on, how do I get leads? So they say if you build it, they will come, but you need to be able to have a system to follow. So once you have certain things in place, you are able to handle the wave of clients that you will have coming in. And see, a lot of people don't want to prepare for their clients. They just want to go out, get the license, get everything that they need to prepare in terms of the look, the new outfits, the headshot, all these things, and then they jump into, where is it that I find leads? But what ends up happening when you get these leads is you get so busy that you lack in a certain amount of areas, and I'm going to talk about that today. So again, I'm Natalie Cousins. If you aren't already following me on Instagram, I am Work with Natalie Cousins. My website is nataliecousins.com. I have been in the industry. I have been actually self-employed since 2002, to be honest with you. I started off again as an architect. I went in as an interior designer, loved it, but it wasn't fueling my passion. And I was actually working for a prominent designer in Toronto, Ontario. But when I realized that that lady was keeping me stuck, I realized that I needed to go out and start my own thing. So I went and started my own design firm. From there, I met with a guy who said, maybe you should connect with my uncle. He's a builder here in Toronto. I went and I called this man every single week. I kid you not. Every week I would call this builder and say, can we meet? I'm a designer. I know structure. Can I get on this project that you have coming up? And eventually one day he said, sure, come on in and meet my partner. Went in and nailed a presentation about how I could work with them. And I became a designer slash sales representative for new home sales. I had the best of both worlds. When I tell you I was wearing 4 hats in that company, I was selling the lots, I was doing the structural changes on the lots. I was then doing the color consultations and the upgrades for the lots. And within that first year, I sold 1.2 million in upgrades, not in lot sales, in upgrades to clients. And it was there that I fell in love with real estate. And, you know, after I had my son in 2006, I decided to start my consulting business. So I was consulting with designers, I was consulting with builders, I was consulting with stagers to help them build their business. I got a very lucrative opportunity to work in the United States. I drove to Buffalo, New York, got my visa, and I went straight to West Palm Beach with my family. I built a nonprofit organization, and from there moved to Atlanta, Georgia, and started building brokerage firms. So my systems work for any company, but after working for several brokers, I decided that I wanted to concentrate on the agents itself. Every state's going to be different, but in Toronto, there are average 66,000 licensed real estate agents, and only 1% is active. And that told me that there was something definitely wrong with the industry and that there was a void being missed. Now, unlike some coaches who go into coaching for the money, or maybe they themselves were burnt out and overwhelmed in the real estate industry, so they decide to start coaching, I wanted to be able to help an individual to realize their path so that they were no longer just the 1%. And as years go by, it increases. Now, the 6 pillars that I want to talk to you about that I focus on in my coaching program are displayed here on the screen. And it is similar to Maslow's hierarchy of needs, but we have 6 steps, and I'm going to break them down for you. And so I believe that in order for you to be truly successful in your real estate business, you need to have a vision, a goal, and a plan. Okay, and it starts there. If you don't have a vision, a goal, and a plan, just turn right back and leave. Because at the end of the day, if you are becoming a mother, you envision what that child is going to look like. You start nurturing that child from in the womb. You have a goal of what you're going to do to prepare to get that baby into this world. And then you have a plan, most likely for the next 18 years of that child's life. Right? So why for your business or for real estate that we spend so much money to get the license, we have broker fees that we're going to have to pay, that we don't have a vision, we don't have a goal, and we don't have a plan? Can anyone explain that to me? And so for me, that's the foundation of your business. So if you're taking notes right now, you want to write down foundation of your business is the vision, the goal, and the plan. And that's why it's at the very bottom. Okay, now in architecture, we know that in order for us to be able to build these skyscraper towers, they have to have a strong foundation from the ground up. And in your real estate business, I want you to have a solid foundation. And so we start with vision, goals, and plans. Once we know what it is that we want, then we need to look at our current business income and our finances, and we look back at our vision, goals, and plans, and we look at where we want our business income and finances to be. I break that down to say to you, where do you want to be in 1 year, 3 year, 5 years, and even 10 years to stand out in this game that we call real estate? And see, a lot of people skip all of this. Now, my vision can be many different things, but in the meantime right now, it's to be relocating back to Atlanta, Georgia. I want an investment property in the A1A in Florida. Okay, I need a new car, so I'm going to be looking at purchasing an SUV versus an automobile or a vehicle. I have 3 trips that I have planned out, or sorry, 4 trips that I have planned out for the next 5 years, which is Dubai. My father-in-law's in England, so I'm going to use the England trip to kill the trip to Germany, Paris, and take the Euro train. Okay, I'm then going to also do Las Vegas because I've never done that before. And we also have a huge family reunion cruise coming up. Now understand, guys, there are all dollar values to this, but I also want to be New York's bestseller. I'm in the pre-launch of my book right now, The 6-Figure Real Estate Agent. I want to be on in Forbes magazine. I want to be a real estate expert on CNN. Okay, so those might not equate to dollar amounts, but it definitely equates to time. And so when I look at my business, income, and finances where I am now, I also have to look at where I want to be. And so I write out desire statements, and my desire statement says by June 6, 2025, I will have made $10 million. And I know exactly how I'm going to do that. So how am I going to do that? By having a strategic marketing plan and a branding plan. Did you know that my marketing plan is going to be different than Gina's? It's going to be different than Nasty's. It's going to be different than Jennifer's. It's going to be different than Miss Tingle's. Everyone's marketing plan is going to be different. If I meet 6 real estate agents right now and 10 of you, if I meet 6 of you right now, I go ahead and I meet 4 more to make it 10. Can you understand that no 10 should have the same marketing plan? I hope for you guys to understand that there is enough real estate and enough money to go around that you should not be worried about the other agent farming in your area, because that other agent farming in your area, their experience and their past is different than yours. Now, I want you to take a look at a twin for argument's sake. Twins are born, they might be sharing the same womb, but do you know that one has to come out before the other? Both are not born the same. It doesn't matter if it is a vaginal birth or if it is a C-section. One comes out before the other. And did you know that with twins, even if they are identical, their DNA is different? And did you know that twins for their entire life try to set themselves apart from the other twin? And so too many agents right now, what you guys are busy doing is you're on this agent's Instagram looking at what they do, you copy that for a minute, and then if that doesn't work, you move on to the next agents and you copy theirs. That's not how you do things, because you are different than that agent. So what you should be trying to do is perfecting what it is that you want for your business. And so we look at the business and the marketing plan and the branding, and I look at how you can become different so that your marketing plan is different than the next. And so while all of you might be coaching with me, every single one of you brings something different to the table. And if you can understand that, I want you to type in the chat that you understand that your marketing plan is so strategic, so different, that the next person who comes along will not be able to rain on your parade. And I think a lot of people misunderstand that your marketing can be so unique that you stand out against your competition without even stepping on toes. Now, once you have the bottom 3 in place, the vision, the goal, the planning, the business, the income, the financing, the branding, and the marketing, now we have to be able to put in productivity. Now, productivity, here's what happens, guys. I want you to listen to this. A lot of us decide to become full-time real estate agents. It means we've either quit our jobs or we are no longer doing what we used to do. And so we think we have all the time in the world. Now, let's go back to ego. Your ego can make or break you. Your ego can make or break you. And that's the problem with some of us. Our ego says we're self-employed. So our ego tells us we can get up when we want. Our ego tells us we can set our hours when we want. And so there is a saying that says if you fail to plan, plan on failing. A lot of us are failing in our productivity because our ego has told us, well, honey, you are self-employed now, so you could get up when you want and you could set your own hours. Well, understand that productivity happens at certain times of the day. And so while you are busy sleeping, the early bird has already caught in the worm and has moved on to other productive activities, income-generating activities during the day. Allow ourselves to have a conversation with our ego to say, we have to take control of productivity. And if you are with me, go ahead and type in the chat that you're going to take control of productivity, because this ego will allow us to think that we can get up when we want, work when we want, not work at optimal times of the day. And while the next agent is winning, we make up a bunch of excuses to say, well, that agent probably has help from her broker, or that agent probably has a coach, or that agent's husband or wife is probably supporting them. No, honey, that agent's ego is in check, that they still have to work for themselves and work 3 to 5% more than the person who is still working for an employer. Did you know that working for yourself is going to be 1,000% harder than working for the employer? Do you know why? Because in the employee stages, there are people who do everything, and everything's broken down by teams, and everything's broken down by leverage, right? But as a self-employed individual, we don't have the budget to hire the assistant, hire the social media manager, hire the payroll person, hire the bookkeeper or the accountant. Sometimes we have to wear these hats until our finances increase, but our finances won't increase if our productivity stays the same. Okay, so we talk about that. Now, let's talk about sales. Sales is really a journey that your buyer or your seller goes through. I want for you to understand that. There should be a journey that is different for your buyer than it is for your seller. Now, I want you to also understand that we need to sub-niche ourselves down in this real estate industry. Everybody will say to me, well, what do you do for a living, Natalie? I'll say, I'm a real estate agent and a coach. And some of their replies are, well, everyone and their mom is a real estate agent. And my reply is, everyone and their mom that's a real estate agent is not Natalie Cousins. See, I'm so aligned with my purpose that I know what I bring to the table. I know my strengths of who it is that I can help. So I will help a first-time home buyer, and I will help an elderly person downsize, because at the end of the day, I'm not great with investors, okay? And I'm not great with individuals who own multiple properties, but I'm great with the first-time home buyer because I have an autistic daughter who has taught me patience. And so I use my patience to help a first-time home buyer because I have the patience to explain to them the process of buying a new home. I have the patience for an elderly who's going to ask 100 to 1,000 questions, sometimes the same questions 2 or 3 times over, but I have the patience for them because I've had to learn patience. I use my strength, okay, to harness my weaknesses, and I am able to help a sub-niche in this industry. So you tell me now, what's your sub-niche? Are you just a buying agent? Are you just a selling agent? Or have you sub-niched yourself in this industry? And the journey in the funnel that you're going to put your buyer and seller through is going to be uber important, because that brings us to the last part of this pyramid, which is customer service and retention, which is why it has a $sign at the top. Because if you are so good in your sales funnel and how you treat the person, what that's going to do is it's going to give you repeat business, it's going to give you referrals, and it is going to give you more leads. And I don't know about you, but if you have been in the industry for a long time, a great real estate agent doesn't rely on Facebook ads necessarily. They don't rely on any advertising. What keeps them in the business as long as they have is longevity of repeated business and referrals. See, a lot of us skip that. And so I did research earlier on in January, and the research came back that buyers will not refer their agents because they're too transactional. They only deal with the agent. They only hear from the agent during the sale of them buying this new property, but they move in and the homeowner never hears from them again. Let's not talk about the sellers, because what ends up happening with the sellers is they say that, especially if you guys have teams, you need to wake up and listen to this. Sellers say the agent was so good at the listing presentation, and then they only, if they do, see them at the closing table to collect the check. Now, wake up with this. A lot of agents are not even giving closing gifts. They don't even follow up. And then your pipeline dries up, and you're not getting repeat business, and you're not getting clients, and you keep on saying to yourself, why? Why is it? Well, it's because you don't have customer service and retention, and that's why you're losing in your business. So what ends up happening with a lot of agents is you guys are so busy for the rush and the lux of clients coming in, the flux of clients coming in, that you forget that real estate is actually a business. Now, if you take any franchise business, McDonald's, Dairy Queen, Burger King, any Chipotle, Chick-fil-A, you want to buy into their business instead of being a moms and pops, because they come with a system. They come with a system. Your broker doesn't teach you a system. I'm just being real. Your broker doesn't teach you a system. All the brokers that are out there, they're either old money or they're new money, but they don't teach you a system. You yourself need that system, and you need that brand. So if you did decide to go with the old money broker and it's time for you to get up and move to the new broker, you've got your system in place. The only thing that changes is the broker that you've aligned yourselves with. And that's what a lot of people are missing right now. And so as it stands and for what it is that we do, I help specialized real estate agents to transform their business and live their life with the 6-pillar systematic system that helps your goals, your visions, your marketing to stand out, get repeat business, referrals, and clients so you can deposit more money in your bank account, because at the end of the day, that's what we want. We all want the money, okay? But at the end of the day, if you don't have the system in place and if you don't have the process, and let me tell you something. A client told me a long time ago, you know why I went with you? And I said, why? And she said, 1, because at the very first call that we had, you didn't rush me off the phone. 2, exactly what you told me on the phone is what you told the homeowner that you worked with in the past. She told me how our call was going to go, and it went exactly the same. So understand, I was branding these people from my consultation calls right till the very end of the sale. How many of you want to brand your process and not just your logo, your website, or your image? Understand that the journey that you take that buyer or that seller through is so important that they will remember it, and that might be the one thing that sticks to them referring you time and time again. Real estate is a relationship business. It is not a transaction business. And we need to break that mindset, because if we don't, we are going to be in a lot of trouble. So life wasn't always this way with me with the systematic processes, okay? For me, I had to be thinking about, where my next dollar was coming from, that I got caught up with just the transactions until one day one of my clients said to me, Natalie, I need somebody who's going to be proactive, not reactive. And that hit home. But I was glad that she said that to me, because at the end of the day, I was always telling people, if you met me and someone said, well, what are your strengths, Natalie? I would say, I work well under pressure. And let me tell you, it wasn't that I worked well under pressure. I was a procrastinator. I was reactive instead of proactive. And I thought to myself, okay, what is it that I'm going to do to make myself stand out and not have to hear anyone else tell me that I'm not reactive. I need to be proactive versus reactive. And that's what woke me up. And so guys, that is where I enlisted the help of a professional. I got my mind right. I hired a coach. I went and did all the things that I needed to do to make sure that I was my best self. And so I used to want to refer to wanting to be like the Oprahs of the world, or the Susie Ormans of the world, or the Grant Cardones and the Tom Ferrys. And then I was like, oh no, I need to be my best self. And in order for me to be my best self, I needed to stand up and invent the best person that I could be. And so where it is possible for me, it is also possible for you. And so in order for you to understand the business of real estate, you're going to want to write all of these down, which I just went through. You need the vision, the goal, and the plan. Okay, without the vision, the goal, and the plan, you're not going to get anywhere with your business. You need a vision to create a goal so you can plan it. And if your vision is to sell 20 homes or 100 homes next year, what's your plans to do that? Well, you need a goal. That goal might be, what's the average house price to get you to how many exact numbers you need to sell for the income, less your broker split. Then you need the business, income, and finances, okay? And a lot of people skip this. They just say, I want to make $1 million next year, but they don't necessarily look at how many homes that equate to. I did a presentation in my group the other day, and I said, let's just say we all want to make $100,000 next year. Everybody's average home price is going to be different. So student one might be average home price is $250,000. Student two's income average house price is $1 million. Student three's is 500,000. Do you understand that everyone's average house price will have one person working harder than the other? So the person with the lowest house price, our average house price, is going to work harder than the person who has a $500,000 or $1 million average home price, because that person has decided to keep themselves in that $200,000 range. And when I asked them, why is it that you have decided to stick in that 200 and something thousand? Well, I don't think I could sell that $1 million property. Well, you've just put a limiting belief on yourself. because whatever the mind can believe, the mind can achieve. So your mind believes that you can only sell $240,000 homes. That's all you'll ever sell, because you've created that barrier and that limiting belief. But if you really look at your goals, your vision, and your plan, and then look at your business, income, and finances, you can definitely sell a $500,000 home. You just got to set your mind to it. And so knowing your numbers is going to be your first steps to profits. If you don't know your numbers in this game called real estate, you're already halfway lost. All right? You got to know your goals to increase your chances of hitting them. And that's where a lot of people fail, is they don't know their numbers. And so you got to be all the way in. You got to commit or quit. And that's the main thing. This is going to require 100% commitment before you start to doubt yourself, because success leaves clues and you got to be able to follow them. My journey of success is going to be different than your journey of success. But there is a song, it's a Jamaican song. It says, life is one big road with a lot of signs, right? You got to be able to see these signs, know what they are, pick up the ones that you need, and leave the other chips laying where they fall, right? And so you've got to be able to commit to this game. And too many of us are ready to throw in the towel at the first sign of doubt. Pillar 3 is your marketing, all right? Your marketing. You got to pledge allegiance to your own flag and take a moment and commit to you. Build a brand that is authentically you, not the next agent down the road. Be authentically you. What do you bring to the table, right? Because my past doesn't necessarily determine my future, but all of the jobs that I have had and all the things that I've done in the past, my experiences can align and shape me authentically to be the best real estate agent in my particular market, in my particular farming area. And so you got to outline your unique way of getting your results. You want to write down the steps that you're going to get your client from point A to point Z. You're going to identify the best, and you're going to remove the rest that no longer works for you. And that's how you create a signature marketing plan that's going to actually work. It's not looking at the other girl's Instagram and looking at what she does. You can look at it for inspiration and motivation, but not for duplication, honey. You got to be authentic to your best self. And that's why a lot of people are being copycats and things are not working, because you are not authentically and genuinely you. Pillar 4 is productivity and time management. And this is where a lot of people fail, because they don't have the productivity or the time management in place. And so they're failing at whatever it is that they're doing, because at the end of the day, they have not looked at the things that they need to say is like, I'm no longer having a boss down my back, but I do have to be down my own back and stroke that ego back to normalization to be like, ego, I got to work 1,000% harder than the self-employed individual, because I got bills to pay, I got goals to rise to, and I got yachts that I need to buy. And that's the problem with everyone. We get too comfortable. You need system, structure, and automation in order for you to survive in this. We are one person. And at the end of the day, yes, we're going to get assistants. Yes, we might get transaction coordinators, but the show must go on while you're at showings and while you're at closings. All right. Pillar 5 is the sales. Okay. You know, the journey that we take our seller or our buyer on is going to be the one that's going to be memorable. And how is it that we're going to show up and show them what the journey is? Well, we need to create that journey. I say how you want to be treated is how you should want your clients to be treated. So if you want to be treated with class, dignity, and respect, I think you should be treating your clients the same, because how you do one thing is how you do everything. And so customer service and retention is very big on my list. I started off in this industry working at McDonald's, selling the Globe and Mail, selling telephones for the telephone company and services. And customer service and retention is big on my list, because that's where the money comes in. And so for those of you who have been in the real estate industry for a long time, how have you been in touch lately? Because I've done some market research. I've asked agents, when was the last time that you spoke to the buyers that you closed last year? And a lot of you have said that you haven't. And that's a reality check. So once your marketing and sales funnel is running, you'll be booking consultations and listing appointments with people who are excited to meet you and work with you, and you are committed to buying and selling with them, and they are looking to being committed to buying and selling with you, and the process and the journey that you put them through. And once you do that, you're going to be able to predict the amount of leads that you get every month, every quarter, and through the entire year, because it becomes almost predictable. So you'll find that you're surviving in the market that might be cold to other people because you have a system in place. And like I said before, how you do one thing is how you do everything. So you got to switch your focus to change your results. Now, if you don't master the art of serving, that's where the problem is right there, because a lot of us think we're better than our own buyers and our own sellers. We got to try to sell our potential clients with the sense of energy. We got to feel less pushy, and we got to be able to start showing that, you know, number one, this is the biggest investment that some of our clients will probably ever make in their lives. And so if we are high pressure selling and if we're screaming scarcity, we're not going to get the people that we want. The goal is to inspire someone and show them the value in working with you and the value of purchasing that property. And that's what a lot of people fail to do. Okay, so there are 7 keys to serving instead of selling, and a lot of people miss this. Okay, real estate is all about relationship marketing, and the number one thing is you got to connect with your buyer or with your seller. You got to set expectations for the meeting. You got to qualify them. You got to create a futuristic relationship with them. You got to offer services. You got to be able to follow up and get the contract signed. And you got to congratulate your new client. See, the brain likes wins, but too many of us are not congratulating these buyers or sellers. We're not making them feel special. And so what are we bringing to the table? We have the table all set nicely, but we've left them starving for hunger with no food of potence. So using a system to help you stay relaxed and confidently lead the conversation is going to help you win. So it's going to also, with a system, save you time. You're going to stay on track. You're going to have systems that are repeatable, and you're going to use your energy to focus on your client. And that's why I talk about automation and able to sell to your clients. So what do you need to win? Okay, you need a vision, you need goals, and you need a plan. You need business, income, and financing. You need marketing and branding. You need productivity, time management, sales, customer service, and retention. Okay, now you have a few options. Okay, we're in the last quarter of the year. You can stay where you're at, or you can keep trying to put all the pieces together of something you've never done before. You can take action and personalize support, structure, and accountability to help you follow a proven path to reach your goals quickly. Okay, now a lot of things are being thrown out to people at a lot of different times. I will be able to, if you go on my Instagram, there are testimonials there. There are testimonials on my website at www.nataliecousins.com. I also have consistent testimonies all throughout my Facebook and Instagram. But what I'm offering you guys today is a 90-day challenge, which is a 14-week coaching program. I have 10 spots available. It is flexible for an AM class or an evening class. And what you'll do is you'll invest $597. You can enroll today with a $100 deposit to get you kick-started. And what you're going to do here is you're going to start with your vision, your goal, and your plans with me. You're going to be able to iron out your business, income, and finances. You're going to create an authentic marketing plan that is authentic to you and not to the other person in the industry. You're going to streamline your productivity. You're going to create a sales journey for your buyer and for your seller. You're going to have a robust customer service and retention plan that is going to give you repeat business, more leads, and it's going to also give you referrals so that you can deposit more money into your bank account. What you can do today is, for those of you who would like to book a call with me, I do the complimentary calls, and how to get the calls is by going to, well, one, you can direct message me right now, and I can go ahead and I can fit you into the schedule. And I also have a website that you can go to, which is nataliecousins.com book me. And what that will do is it will take you to my calendar for you to be able to book a free complimentary coaching session with me, so we can hone in on where you are at now, where you'd like to be, and how we will be able to help you get to the next year or the coming year with a solid system and plan in place. And so I've gone ahead and I've placed a link in the chat for you guys to be able to click on that. With Jennifer's approval, I will be coming on here. I will be doing a lot more coaching sessions on here. We're going to talk about passive income, social media. We're going to talk about the traditional ways of doing real estate, but I am definitely going to be nurturing this group. I am not just a pop-up shop or a one-hit wonder. You will definitely hear more from me. At this time, if there's anybody who has any questions or concerns, you can go ahead and type your questions in the chat, or you can send them to me directly. Let's just see if we have any questions coming in. And let me also check my private messages here. Just give me 1 minute to do so on my cell phone. Let's see. All right, so I have one person asking if the coaching sessions are free. Yes, the coaching sessions are complimentary. I give you one complimentary call for you to be able to speak with me. So the coaching sessions are the link that I've placed in the chat. That is a complimentary call. Okay, so you will be able to do a complimentary coaching session with me, and that is of no charge to you. The other question here is asking, how long have I been in the real estate industry? And so I have been in the real estate industry since 2003 as a new home sales representative. I got licensed in the US in 2012 in West Palm Beach, 2013 in Atlanta, Georgia. So 5 years is how long I've been licensed in the US. I've been coaching since 2006. And so that's my coaching. That's my coaching life. Let's see if anything else is coming up. Give me a second here. Okay, one last question here is asking, why do I start with vision, goals, and planning? That's actually a good question. I start with vision, goals, and planning because I feel like if you want to be motivated or stay motivated, there was a point in my life where I was just getting up every day and living life on a daily basis. Now that I get up and I have visions and I have goals in place, it helps me to stick to my plan. So if I'm ever feeling unmotivated, or if I ever feel like throwing in the towel, because all of us will get that, what I find is I go back and I look at my vision board, I look at, you know, my plans and things like that, and really that's how I stay motivated. And I again, vision, goals, and plans is really the foundation of your business. So just like a building needs a solid foundation, our business needs a solid foundation. And if you have those goals and visions in place, then this is what will help you. And so that's why I start with that. Now, with that being said, you guys, again, can go ahead and you can book your call with me. The link is in the chat, nataliecousins.com. Those are free complimentary coaching sessions for those of you who have questions. But that will conclude this presentation for today. I'd like to thank you guys so much for your time. You guys have an awesome and amazing week, and I will see you guys soon. Bye for now.